Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description.
All right, John, you and I both carved out some time in our day for what has become must-see TV of the week on YouTube. Pat McAfee show for the brand. Aaron Rodgers. There was some question you were telling me McAfee was talking about at the beginning of his show whether or not Aaron would show up. Very good for business.
Yeah, you got to build the drama. You know, he's got the wrestling background. He gets it. I think
get it.
He went pretty viral yesterday. Him and Schefter talking about the future, and it's not they didn't make it up. Aaron started it, and in fairness to Aaron, his team started it back in the draft. And the moment you draft a quarterback in the first round to a team whose star quarterback was once in the same situation 15 whatever years ago, or I guess it might have been more now. 15 years ago, at a similar pick, right? You know, he was 24. I think Love was 27. Favre, absolute legend. Rodgers, absolute legend. There were just a lot of similarities, and I think this offseason, as Aaron alluded to, he came to grips with, he saw it happen to Brett Favre, and Aaron's a better player than Brett Favre, in my opinion. I do think that Brett was more like, I don't even know the right term, like culturally important to the sports, or just
bigger star.
I can't even describe it well. You know, I don't even think bigger star, because I think Rodgers, that might just be that simple. You know, just a bigger needle mover. Like he was just an all-time athlete, any sport, right? I'm talking baseball, basketball, you name it. And it happened. And it was Rodgers. And I think Rodgers had come to grips. But when you start playing well, to me, it's just easy to not think about it. And then I think he gives that comment. And he mentioned it with McAfee. Like, listen, I think a lot of times the media is not used to getting truth told. And usually the PC police, from a cliche standpoint, when it comes to athletes and coaches, it's all bullshit. I mean, everything they say is just because they know they don't want to deal with anything. And I think Aaron has kind of let loose this year. Maybe he always has, but with this specific situation, and people just were kind of like, whoa, does that mean he's going to demand a trade? Does that mean that they're going to go to Jordan Love? And I just think it put us all kind of like, damn. But, you know, he's just speaking the truth. The team did this, not him.
Yeah. No, look, I got no problem with what he said, and I did have a problem with the team drafting Jordan Love, given that this Packer team was just – it's easy to forget this. I think we don't even talk about his part of this is his part of the emotion of the postgame for the way it was interpreted was his coach made a controversial decision that we thought in part cost Aaron his best shot at going to the Super Bowl. They've now lost the last two, right? They've been in position now 2 years in a row and haven't won.
Yeah, with this coach.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
With Matt LaFleur.
This one was a lot closer than the last one.
It was a lot closer, yeah. But I also think
it was at home, and their team was better. Like, I think he's going, we were right there.
And Aaron was better this year. That's the other part. Aaron was a better player this year. So by the way, the point of it, if you didn't see Pat McAfee, I think it's clear from watching it. What Aaron Rodgers said basically was, look, I don't think I'm going anywhere this year. But it's just clear in the big picture, I'm not finishing my career in Green Bay. Is that how you took? Yeah.
Yes.
And, the other part of it is that it does feel like he's got now several years left, because Brett had several years left, and Brett felt physically older than Aaron does right now, right? You agree with that?
Yes.
And Aaron even said to Pat, he's like, this is the first year I've never missed a practice. Like, that's how healthy I was this year. Like, I was really healthy. It was all coming together. And I think the thing that I'll take away is we can hold off on putting Aaron on another team today. But one day that day is going to come. It sounds like Aaron's not doing I'll win a championship next year and then ride off into the sunset. Like, Aaron is preparing to play for several more years.
That's what he kind of poo-pooed, because a lot of people are like, does he mean retirement? No, he mentioned it today on McAfee a little bit later. First time in his career as a starter, he did not miss one practice or go on the injury report one time. He's like, it was a very positive from an injury health standpoint, right? I'm healthy. I'm older. I also think, Guy, all he had to do in that game is he's playing a guy, and it doesn't happen very often, if ever, for Aaron Rodgers, who is his superior in Tom Brady. More accomplished, the better fucking player. You could say the more talented player is Aaron, but we just look. I mean, Tom drubbed him twice, right? Killed him in the regular season, then beat him when all the chips were on the table. We can argue quarterback win stat, whatever. He's in the Super Bowl. Aaron's not. And Tom Brady's no longer in the New England Patriots. And once upon a time, in a similar situation, the Patriots, right, 2014, that's 6 years ago, so Tom would have been 37, 38 years old, right, in the Aaron Rodgers sweet spot age. They drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. The difference, though, is Tom started winning chips, right? Right at 14, that second half of Tom's career, he basically won 3 championships over the next 7 years. And now he's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, ultimately, he won the power play, and there's no guarantee by any means that Jordan Love will be half the player of Jimmy Garoppolo, right? It was clear the moment Tom got suspended and Jimmy played, like they had a little something there. And then, as we saw with the Niners, he's a polarizing player, but Jimmy's a starter in the NFL. Like, we don't know that about Jordan Love. But that created a rift, and that created a problem. And I think for the first time, Tom was like, damn, are they drafting my replacement? And there were rumors that he went to Kraft to kind of force the trade, but he was winning Super Bowls. And so they just couldn't replace him. I do think in the NFL, within the next couple of years, like, unless you're winning Super Bowls, you're not grandfathered in. And they're going to get to a point, maybe they just wear the pick and just, whatever, let them, if Aaron just plays well for the next 4 or 5 years, they just, get rid of Jordan Love. I don't know, but it is a tangible situation. Like, I know Packer fans, like, we're just making something out of nothing. No, you have a first-round quarterback on your team, and his clock's running. Jimmy's clock, remember, because he was a second-round pick, was just shorter. So they had to – Bill traded him that year going, midway through year 4 because he was just going to be a free agent. Then he was the Niners' problem. Like, Jordan Love, you're 2 years away. Think about this. You're 2 years away from having to pick up a fifth-year option. That's just this. I think what Aaron is talking about is like there are just realities to this business. And he's not getting into like the nitty gritty like I am, but you just start putting these benchmarks and check marks. Eventually you're going to want to see some stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and here's the other thing is like to your point being, would you say 3 years away on a fifth-year option?
No, two because you have to do it after the third season.
Well, we could get to that point and they don't pick it up. Right? I mean, Aaron played after year 3. Like year 4 was Aaron's year.
Yeah.
They could conceivably go.
I think if I remember correctly, it was 2009, and they extended Aaron Rodgers midway through that season. So like they had doubled down, and they were right.
09 was his second year starting, so that was his 5th year in the league.
Gotcha. Is that when they give him an extension?
That I don't. I could go look at his contract.
I'll look it up. So,
but my point is, one of two things is going to happen here. We're going to get 2 years down the road, and the Packers are going to think Jordan Love is the future quarterback of the Packers. Or they're going to think he's not the future quarterback of the Packers, and they're going to draft somebody else. Because either way, they're going to need a quarterback after Aaron Rodgers. And maybe it's Jordan Love. Maybe it's not. But if internally they think it's not, they're going to do it again. Because if they did it this year, they're definitely going to do it in 2023. If they took a first-round quarterback in 2020, they're definitely going to do it. Like, what if Aaron's still playing well in 2 years and Jordan Love is clearly not, still can't beat out Tim Boyle, right?
The
Packers might do it again.
What they did for Aaron Rodgers in 2008, so his first year as a starter, October 31st, so probably, 8-ish games into his first year ever as a starter, they gave him a 6-year, $65 million contract, which you look at now, it's like, God, what pennies for quarterbacks? Well, they just doubled down pretty quickly. And so there is history of this organization. There's an organizational philosophy. When I think about the Packers, I think a quarterback-centric organization. They were always like that with Ron Wolf, always just having quarterback guys around. It always seems like they lean offense, right? This is just a conversation, big picture.
Yeah.
But in the short term, I'd say Aaron just played his way to, like, the Packers don't have a choice. Like, I would say, how's he not the starter for the next 2 years?
I'll tell you this. To me, the way he's not the starter in
He's a
year is this,
lock in
2021?
2021, right?
Yeah, the way he's not the starter in 2022 is if they might have a bad year this year, 2021. Because right now, who's the favorite to go back? Who would you say are the favorites to be in the NFC Championship game in 2022? The Packers have to be one of them.
Yeah, Packers, Tampa. I mean, what if I told you like the Saints get a Stafford or something?
Right. I mean, you're right. There's all this quarterback movement that changes things. But this
Packers
moment,
are right in the mix. Yes.
But right this moment, like the Saints need a quarterback.
Are the Packers the favorite right now? Sitting here right now.
Yeah, I think they are the favorite to be back in the NFC Championship game next year or this.
I'd have to look at
season.
Tampa's free agents. I know like Chris Godwin is a free agent, right? He's gone. So you just all of a sudden Tampa's maybe not quite as good. Listen, I love Brady, but he's 44 years old. Like, is he just gonna go to the NFC Championship again? It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, also he's cheap, kind of, right? But if the cap comes down, now your quarterback really has to carry you. Aaron's going to be 20% of the cap, but Aaron can play 20% of your team's value, right?
Tom did throw 40 touchdowns this year.
I know. I'm just setting it up to count Brady out again so we can smush our faces in it.
I would say that Green Bay's the NFC East stinks. Seattle has issues. I mean, they got a new coordinator. The Niners don't have a quarterback. The Rams hate their quarterback. The Bears have no quarterback. The Saints need a quarterback. All of a sudden, you start looking around. You're like, why wouldn't it be Tampa and Green Bay?
I know. It's really not that hard to fall on the – are the Cowboys going to make a big turnaround? Yeah, to fall back on the Packers.
Well, they're losing Aaron Jones. Well, they just drafted A.J. Dillon in the second round. Like, that was a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
The element that is just I think a little bit of the elephant in the room that I think Aaron Rodgers has to think about goes, if we would have drafted a wide receiver high with A.J. Dillon in the second round, we'd be equipped to Brady made this miraculous second half, really third quarter of his career run from 14 to 19, right? He's like, we could have rattled off a couple. And I think this one really – the Niner one 2 years ago was almost found money. Like, damn, we got something. This year was this was our year. And now I think that devastation after the game, can they capitalize it over the next couple of years? Because remember, Brady had they lost to the Eagles, right? They lost the Super Bowl. I think the hard part with Rodgers and the Packers, they just never make it to the Super Bowl beside the 1 year. They just had a lot of really closes. If Aaron had a couple Super Bowl losses, I think we'd look at the situation a little bit differently in a more positive light. I know everyone acts like, oh, Brady gets a pass on his loss. Yeah, it's okay. It's a big deal to make it to the Super Bowl. If Rodgers was 1-3 in the Super Bowl, meaning he had been there 3 times, I think we would view his career as closer to Elway or something. But it's just God, he's lost 4 times in the NFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy.
I know. But unlike last year, it was of course he lost. There was a clear hierarchy. This year, they were the better team.
That was a devastating loss. That, to me, is one of the more devastating losses in recent memory.
It was. Was
it more devastating than the Niners loss in the Super Bowl?
I mean, the Niners had the lead late.
They did lose.
This team was trailing.
Yeah, and they had hit a 3rd and 15. Is it easier to lose to Pat Mahomes in his peak than a weird kind of Tampa team?
I don't think so. I don't think it's because you had the lead. You had the lead.
Yeah, the Packers never had the lead. They were really getting their ass.
And they're it's you still had to win the Super Bowl after it, right? That was not guaranteed. The Niners were in the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I think one thing's clear. Rodgers told the truth, also elevated the conversation, brought it back. You said it, we've said it. The Packers started it when they drafted Jordan Love, and maybe in the long run it'll turn out to be the right thing to have done. Maybe we'll look back the same way we look back on Favre, but the odds are not in their favor of doing that twice.
The odds that Jordan Love is going to be their future decade starter and make multiple Pro Bowls, from Rodgers to Favre to the next guy, seems unlikely.
Yes,
right?
We'll remember that nobody liked that idea on January 25th, 2021, let alone after the draft when it happened.
Exactly.